I'm a dreamer who has the perseverance to make dreams come true, whether they're my own. As I've made my own dreams come true already, I'm tempted to think that we can make my country's dreams come true. And really, that's why I'm here today. Because before we become one with the world, we have to become one with ourselves. If we get our own house in order, we don't have to make an effort to become one with the world. The world will want to become one with us. Everyone wants to be friends with happy, rich, thriving neighbors. Nobody wants a family festered with disputes. A lot is wrong in my country. There are too many differences. The question is not who we blame for this. The question is how do we fix it? Because to do anything great, you have to become one first. 2 generations ago, our forefathers came together to win us independence. It isn't like we didn't have disputes then. Religion, caste, community have existed for centuries. But Gandhi brought them together for a greater cause, to get the country free. Today, we have another great cause, to get India its rightful place in the world, to see India the way the younger generation wants to see it, to make India a prosperous, developed country, where not only the spirit of patriotism, but also the standard of living is high, where anyone with the talent, drive, and hard work alone has the ability to make it, where people don't ask you where you come from, but where you're going. We all know that India, as we have all dreamt of that India. There's a lot required to be done for this, and it doesn't just start and end by blaming politicians. For in a democracy, we elect the politicians. If our thinking changes, our voting will change, and the politicians will change. And since I made a nation that didn't read, I do believe people's thinking can be changed. To me, there are 3 main areas where I think we need to change our thinking, leaders included. And I'm not just saying we need to do it because it's morally right, ethically correct, or because it sounds really nice at a conference. We need to do it as it makes sense from an incentives point of view. These 3 areas are changing the politics of differences to the politics of similarity, looking down on elitism, and third, the role of English. The first mindset change required is to change the politics of differences to the politics of similarity. I've been studying young people in India, not just in big cities, but across India for the last 5 years. They are the bulk of the population, the bulk of our voter bank. Yet, what they are looking for is not what the politicians are pitching. It is not too different from old school Bollywood, where they think, put an item number, make a big budget, get this star, and this will work. But the biggest hits of the year become Jaane Tu and Rock On, which didn't have like that. Yes, times have changed in Bollywood, times have changed in politics. Here is what the politicians are pitching. Old-fashioned patriotism, defending traditions, being the torchbearer of communities, caste, and religion. Here is what the youth wants. Better colleges, better jobs, better role models. That's it. All across the country. I have been to every state, and I can tell you that's all they want. The drive has increased a lot in this generation. I don't know if you know this, but 50 college students are helping out with this summit just for the experience. All these pretty ladies in maroon saris are not HT employees. They're all college students. Compared to the talent pool, the number of good jobs, good college seats are very limited. Same for good jobs. The recession is only going to make it worse. These wants, these things we want, is the biggest similarity we all share. We all want the same things, progress. I see a huge disconnect in the political strategies of existing politicians versus what could work for the new voters. I think broad-based infrastructure and economic development will satisfy the young generation's needs. It isn't an easy goal to attain, but it is the great cause that can unite us. Today, a dynamic politician who takes this cause can achieve a far greater success than any regional politician, and the slot is just waiting to be taken. Another aspect required to convert the politics of differences to the politics of similarities is a strong moderate voice. When someone tries to divide us, people from the same community as the divider have to stand up against him. If person A is saying non-Marathis should be attacked, then some Marathis need to stand up and say person A is talking nonsense. If a Muslim commits terrorist attack, other Muslims to stand up and condemn it, as Hindus are going to condemn it anyway. This moderate voice is sorely missing, but is critical in keeping the country together. And the youth, this generation, wants to keep it together. We want to be remembered as the generation who took India forward, not the one that cut India into 24 pieces. I hate telling people what to do, but the media does have a role in this. I agree that media is a business and TRPs matter above anything else. However, there are ethics in every business. Doctors make money off sick people, but it doesn't mean they keep people sick and not heal them. If you find a moderate voice, highlight it as soon as a divisive voice appears. And don't take sides, don't argue, don't debate it, don't validate the ridiculous. Just focus on the great cause. The second mindset we need to change is that of elitism. From my early childhood days to college, to professional and business life, and now in the publishing and entertainment circles, I've noticed a peculiar Indian habit of elitism. Maybe it's hard to achieve anything in India, but the moment any person becomes even moderately successful, educated, rich, famous, talented, or even develops a fine taste, they consider themselves different from the rest. They begin to move in circles where the common people and their tastes are looked down upon. That means a large chunk of our most qualified, experienced, connected, and influential people prefer to live in air-conditioned lives in the bubble of like-minded people. Naive people who elect stupid politicians, that is the bottom line of all Indian problems anyway, and they want nothing to do with it. But tell me, if the thinking of the common people has to be changed, who's going to change it? What is the point of discussing solutions to Indian problems if there is no buy-in from the common man? Just because it feels good to be around like-minded, intelligent people? What is the use of this intelligence? If you switch on the TV, 70% of the time you will see Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore. The reason is the media is centered in these cities. However, 90% of India is not this. Unless we represent these people properly, how will these people ever come with us? Again, I'm not making these points as a moral appeal. I think understanding India and being inclusive makes massive business sense. And trust me, it doesn't take any coolness or trendiness away from you if you do it right. Look at me. I'm the massiest English author ever invented in India. My books sell on railway stations and next to Atta and Big Bazaar. I have an Indian publisher who operates from the bylines of Daryaganj. And yet, on Orkut, the most common words associated with my name are coolness and awesomeness. Tags given by my wonderful readers. I think it is cooler to know how people think in the streets of Indore and Raipur than who's walking the ramp in South Mumbai. You may have planned your next vacation abroad, but have you visited a small town lately? Have you shown your kids what the real India is like? Don't you think they will need to know that as they grow up and enter the workforce? Yes, I want people to look down on elitism and develop a culture of inclusiveness. If you're educated, educate others. If you have good taste, improve others' taste rather than calling it bad. The last aspect where we need to change our thinking is our attitude to English. We have to embrace English like never before. Not England, but English. This point may sound contradictory to my previous one, but I'm not talking about confining English to the classes, but really taking it to the grassroots level. English and Hindi can coexist. Hindi is the mother, English is the wife, and believe me, it's possible to love both. Just don't ask who you love more. In small towns, districts, and even villages, we need to spread English. India already has a head start, as so many Indians speak English, and we don't have to get expat teachers like China does. But we must not confuse patriotism with the skills one needs to compete in the real world. If you're making an effort to start a school where none existed, why not give people what will help them most? I can teach a villager geometry and physics in Hindi, but frankly, when he goes to look for a job, he's going to find that education useless. English will get him a job. Yes, I know some may say, what will happen to Hindi and our traditional cultures? I want to ask these people to pull their kids out of English medium schools and then talk. If you go to small towns, English teaching classes are the biggest draw. Just today, HT has given me a car and driver to go around, and the driver's salary is 7,000 a month. He told me he sends his kids to DPS for a fee of 6,000 rupees a month, 2 kids. Why? Because he wants them to learn English. There is a massive demand for something that will improve people's lives. I have no special spot for this language, but the fact is it works in the world of today. And if more English helps spread prosperity evenly across the country, trust me, we will preserve our culture a lot better than a nation that can barely feed its people. We're all passionate about making India better, so we can discuss this forever. But today, I just wanted to leave you with 3 thoughts: politics of similarities, less elitism, and more English that we need to build consensus on. If you agree with me, please do whatever you can in your capacity to make the consensus happen. It could just be a discussion with your friends, or spreading it in a broader manner if you have the means and power to do so. For the fact that we are sitting in this wonderful venue means our country has been kind to us. Let's see what we can give back to our nation. Thank you.